interesting addition by the Rando devs. Kudos to the Rando devs for something like that. And we are underway.
Okay, and we just start with Power Glove. Okay. Very interesting.
Darn, one of the troll items already picked up.
Immediate access to the bottom of a stage, which is very different. I would be surprised if these guys didn't go there right away.
Yeah, I think escape is, with the exception of the lantern in the chest in that room, is pretty much fully accessible now. Other than that, and I think need a bomb to get into the back room with the 3 chests.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of escape, we have ZZQ checking the various points of the entryway. There's a piece of heart in the back with the uncle. She's stealing a piece of his heart. 20 rupees in the front.
And there's not much rupees on the free rupees. That the tree and the crab are both useless. We're gonna look at it. It's just a piece of, or just a full heart. So nothing there.
No, they need that full heart. It's a 20 life seed, right?
No.
Darn. Oh well. Aghanim not required, at least not yet. We'll see what happens later. Getting a map check. I noticed a pendant over at Eastern Palace. I didn't catch what the other items were. And another piece of heart at the bottom of the hole in the Lost Woods. And it looks like we just have the single, it looks like a green rupee up in the vanilla. I think that's the vanilla mushroom spot, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Up in the corner in Lost Woods.
The side is just a piece of heart, so not much other than that glove, but the glove is very interesting in that it opens up a little bit by itself, but you do need things like bombs and such, and technically the lamp. So it's not an item by itself, but it's still very interesting to have that so early on. And if we find an early lamp, then it's probably some progression on Death Mountain.
I see a fire rod, and the ZKS just got the fire rod on Blind's hideout.
Okay, well, that's not too big of an item. That specifically does not open up anything right now, so it is nice to have, but as of right now, doesn't add any locations we can check.
And another nice to have item on the back of Blind's hideout there, the blue armor. That'll double the hit capacity that these runners can take in many cases. Of course, again, doesn't unlock anything. We're trying to find something to find some progress here besides that power glove. And it looks like we're going to all the runners are doing their Kakarino clean out here. We're looking at the well right now. Saw 20 rupees in the first chest. Going to the back of the well, we have a full heart.
A half magic, very nice to have, especially with that fire rod. And a moon pearl.
Well, there's some good progress right there. I think there's they're close to being able to get into the Dark World through the Thief's Hideout area, and that would open up some more options for chests once they can get in there.
Well, they need one of 2 items to progress into the Dark World, either the hammer or the glove. Lots of safeties here is going to make combat fairly easy. The fire rod, unfortunately, does not damage as many bosses as you'd hope. Blind is a big one, but having half magic and fire rod mates Skullwood's quite easy to do. So I would be curious to see if somebody went and did an early Skullwoods if it's a crystal. And with 2 pendants in the light world, it's very likely. In fact, those are actually vanilla pendants, I believe. Oh,
that was the green pendant at Eastern Palace. I didn't catch the color.
Green and blue, I think, are vanilla.
Those are definitely vanilla, because I know that Tower of Hera is the red pendant.
Yeah, so very interesting. That is. Now, I mean, essentially at this point, the seed cannot actually troll our runners because they are so well equipped. Like, there's nothing dangerous at this point anymore.
I missed
So
what was in the library. Did you see what was in the library?
There was nothing. So I don't see our runners actually running into any issues here. Oh, and there's the boots.
I see boots. Just boots.
The old.
They're gonna be going. They're gonna be going fast.
So good history. Those lots of people joined after the first few tournaments. Way back, I want to say pre V20. Let's see, they took out V26-ish. The boots in this location, the boots used to have a hint. The boots always have a hint in the hint tiles right now. So there used to be a 5% chance that Uncle would tell you where the boots were. And he would give you an exact location. Like if it was in like many locations, there was like hundreds of these hints for the boots. The boot hint for that one is boots at race game, seed impossible. Was the Uncle hint for it. Because lots and lots of people did not realize you could get the item there without the boots. So it was a little joke. But they had removed that a long time ago. But now hints are back in full swing. So I kind of hope that maybe they can move the boots hint back onto Uncle.
Yeah, that I wasn't around at the time that the hints were in there like that. I think I came on at V26 is when I first joined and started watching myself. So I never saw those.
Very interesting from Thalen, not choosing not to do the rest of Escape with his Fire Rod.
And looking in the back of Escape, there's a key, the lovely blue boomerang, and we're getting a lot of money. I think I've seen about 3 or 4 of the 300 rupees so far in this. So Zora could very well be in play here.
Well, yeah, with the Fire Rod, we're seeing ZZ Cube abuse the Fire Rod to get some light sources in the dark room.
Bombs from the Sick Kid. We're getting our first look at Mini Moldorm Cave here.
Should be in the.
We got Titan's
chest.
Yeah. Titan's Knit from Mini Moldorm. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that opens up the Dark World access point in the Kakariko Village area. That makes Steve's Town available.
That's correct. Also opens up the other Bond Rock. Or Tombstone, I guess, in this case.
Looking in the, actually thinking that might open Skull Woods fully too, if I'm not mistaken, because you can get into the back of Skull Woods and fight Mothula. So I believe that's open too, if I'm not mistaken. And the well has only a piece of heart. Taking a look at what was outside, I didn't catch it the first time. It's another piece of heart. So just a little bit of love in the dam area today. Delane is going to pick up his Titan's Mitt right now, and he will have that available.
Okay, so we're just kind of retrying. Now this is one new item on DKS's side. Could be something here. There's not.
I think we're getting our first look at the ice cave here to see what's in that cave.
There's Blue Cane, which we've already gotten. Yeah, we were already here. I was pretty sure that DTS had checked this, but
oh, I must have missed him checking that. Even so, the less useful cane, but I do remember seeing that used in a boss fight before. That was entertaining.
gonna see a, yep, we're gonna see setting up the, well, the crowd unfortunately messing up the setup for Fate Flipper, and there's a setup that some people are just have to use to be able to do Fate Flipper. For them, it's faster than just finding the right pixel while they, like with the sword, you can actually use sword slashes or like fist bumps, as it were, for these runners, to line yourself up on the right pixel if you need to, because you only ever move, you move a specific amount of pixels if you move and slash at the same time.
We had a Dark World map check. I noticed the last pennant hiding in Ice Palace. I didn't catch where the red crystals were. Hopefully chat can help us with that. Or our trackers may have seen that.
That is very interesting, is that Ice Palace now has 3 hints in the new system. So that is 3 entire items that you can possibly find out the location to. TTS having a little bit of a hard time in this first room of Stall Woods. Without a sword, you can't do the guaranteed setup there. Gets a piece of heart, which refills his health though. And Zora is going to provide us with 20 rupees. So, nothing of value, but that's to be expected. It's out of the way location. We have so many other locations we can check.
Bit of a bad business deal from King Zora today, unfortunately. We have a check of the unfortunate man at the bottom. He just gives up his life savings of 50 rupees there. Not much to write home about.
Effective use of the blue boomerang to get rid of those Gibdos. Thalen trying to do the spooky action glitch on there for a little bit of fun, but unfortunately actually just doesn't get it and wastes a lot of time getting hit by the guards' arrows. And Bumper Cave most likely does not have anything. Not much that we could do, so it'll be probably going into town now. Yes, using a lot of this boomerang, but keeps hitting the sides of things. Looks like we're seeing more and more of the runners doing the same thing. We've got the bottom screen essentially synced up right now. High-fiving each other in these caves.
I'm actually looking at the trackers right now, and as apologies, I forgot to push my button down here. Looks like Skullwoods and Thievestown are the 5-6 crystals. Would it not be interesting if there's a required item at Pyramid Ferry and we have to get those 2 crystals right away there?
Well, I mean, that is possible. It's very unlikely. I think that the spot that has the least chance of progression is the Pyramid Ferry. Even less than Pedestal, which is less than 2%. So, I believe that there's a lot going into the seeding that causes the Pyramid Ferry to be very unlikely because of its requirements.
I missed it, but it looks like we have an ice rod somewhere.
Most likely C-shaped house. Oh, it was in Stall Woods, right.
We already have people in chat calling for cane strats for blind.
There's like a bajillion items right now, so I very much but with half magic and cane, that fight is extremely easy. So
Piece of heart in the shovel digging game. Actually, I take that back. It was a full heart container.
Yep, full heart container. DTS not sure what they want to do. Looks like we're taking the frog on a small trip because it's just more efficient this way without the mirror. you have to make sure to clear out the West Dark World as much as possible.
Just some bombs from Stumpy there, so still looking for another. I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of progression for getting to dungeons here. I know we still have Eastern Palace that the runners haven't checked yet. No mirrors, so no back way into Desert Palace. Tower of Hera, I don't think is accessible. It's very hard to find progression at this point.
I mean, we've got 2 dungeons that are completable. I mean, we have both items installed, but nobody touched Thieves Town.
That's very surprising. I expected someone to go into Thieves Town by now.
And as you say that, Big Dunker is going straight into Thieves Town. And it looks like that is where the progression is, since we didn't, or it could be on, honestly, like, all the progression could be behind, the Smiths. So
meanwhile, the back of Hype Cave, very, very awful Hype Cave in my opinion, but there was a nice little bag of powder back there for some free fairies. So we have Big Dunka still checking out Thieves Town here. Opens up to find the compass, and he's about to go get one more chest, which has...
I had to have the
big key. Has to have the big key. I missed the second item, so...
Oh, Midnight is trying to kill that with that. It gets an extra bottle. Thalen does, but we know the City doesn't have anything.
And see the reason the runners seem to be picking up that bottle there. So far, they haven't seen any more bottles, and going into some Dark World dungeons, they want to have some extra options in case something goes wrong for whatever happens in the next. But these are some pretty good racers. Most of them are not going to need that bottle, I think.
Well, I mean, they picked it up because they want to check the bottle vendor. So, and
this is true.
Usually, if you can see a bottle, it's worth picking up. Like, you're not going to skip a bottle.
I'm wondering if any of the runners are going to employ B on Mothula strats here.
No, that would be a very bad idea. It would be a Mothula, just causes the fight to glitch out and causes Mothula to go really fast. So, unless you are any specific plan to doing that, as your only option, I would highly recommend never doing that. Just, otherwise it will bug out pretty good.
I should look this up later. Meanwhile, we got, looks like all of our owners are now cleaning out Thieves Town, so I think we're going to get to see what Blind has very soon here. And the runners are all picking up items we've already seen here. So just as we see Big Dunka heading to the girl at the back, just want to remind you to follow all of our runners here. We have their Twitch streams in the channel here. And there they are.
A reminder that there is the ALTTP tournament. The final qualifiers of this are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. If you are interested in playing in the tournament, you have to play all 4 of the remaining qualifiers. This is literally your last chance.
And I really am looking forward to see who comes out of that qualifier, to see who emerges in the brackets. I think if I'm not remembering correctly, I might have this wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 96 people coming out of that. And we have Big Dunka doing the blind fight here. I missed what that hint was, but ZZQ went and grabbed one of the hints
unique,
from...
unique item in Turtle Rock.
Unique item, interesting.
So, the game will not tell you an exact item all the time, but it will tell you that there is a unique item that could be... Well, can't be the hammer, but
well, it's not the hammer, no. I think we missed Big Dunka picking that up, because he does have the hammer as well.
Chase this Thieves' Town play. It's quite nice.
Blind, meanwhile, only dropped 20 rupees, so that was another item from Thieves' Town. And Thieves' Town is fully cleared by Big Dunk. He's going to move on to... it looks like he's exploring the bottom of the Dark World right now. Actually, he's going to pick up the heart from the shovel game. Guest appearance by Please Time from the sounds of it.
Just like enough, DKS is using hammer blind here.
And actually say that, it's actually very interesting. I don't think any of the runners have found a sword yet. So at this point, I would say Aghanim is definitely not in consideration, especially with a hammer in place, so he will not be required this seed.
He will not be, no. So we refill here.
Question in chat: what pendant dungeons have the best ped required seed to occur? I think he means what combination is the most likely to lead to a ped required situation. I don't think that really. I'm not sure exactly how the logic is set up in terms of how the pedestal works, but I would say that there's no specific combination. I've seen cases where different pendants in different dungeons will lead to a pedestal required situation. That's a very interesting question, however.
It is extremely unlikely for pedestal to ever happen. It's like 1.8 something %. It's just people joke about because it's awful. But honestly, one of the fastest seeds in one of the in past tournaments has been pedestal seeds, because if you know ahead of time that's on pedestal, then well, it's right there.
Yeah, some seeds, if you are able to find out early what's on the pedestal and you actually put in the effort to go and check it early, knowing that item is there can put you in a sort of a go mode situation, whereas the other runner is still opening every single chest. Speaking of the book, now we have the option to check the pedestal at some point.
Probably once somebody decides to go to Stone Woods. Well, I guess they wouldn't need the mirror for that, but
yeah, they kind of would need the mirror.
It might hold them off until then.
I can definitely see runners holding off doing Mothia until they get that mirror, just for that reason. Of course, if the mirror were to be somewhere late in the game, obviously they're going to have to, or even on the pedestal itself, for all we know, that may not work. And it looks like we're going to get our first look inside Desert Palace. DKS opening up Desert Palace with the book. Gary only had 20 rupees for lunch today. And Catfish only had 5 rupees, so still looking for some more progression here. Lots of items still left to get. We're going to see what comes up in Desert Palace right now.
Okay, so we're seeing desert. Some cash leads to the grumpy fish. We already know that.
It's always nice to get a hint right after you you actually get the item yourself, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that was not right after. That was significantly after. The big fish would have been the Zora. Grumpy Fish can be Zora or the Guyana, and DTS has not been to either. He might have been at Zora, but definitely not right after. So, but it is hints are completely random. They do not care if they are behind or if they're in the same room or if the hint matters. They are there to be a fun little casual thing that just kind of changed around the meta a tiny bit, making a few dungeons worth a little bit more.
We found the mirror on the Mr. Batty. I forget what his name is off the top of my head now, but the Batman had the mirror, and so now I can see runners when they get that mirror, as you said earlier, heading up to Skull Woods, taking it out and checking the pedestal while they're there.
Yeah, been done because routing has been very good here. Also, that mirror makes it does mean that they're gonna have to do another walk through the Dark World to the south side of it, but it depends on what they want to do here. We might
Meanwhile,
see
Big Dunka heading right to the Dark World as soon as he got that mirror as well.
Right, I think he might be doing the southern mirror checks plus the because he has the book. Oh no, he doesn't actually. He doesn't have the book yet. He will shortly. Because he'll do hammer pegs. So he's gonna have the book, and that may make him take the chest all the way to its spot in the Dark World, so he can mirror onto the ledge.
Getting our first pyramid, I didn't see what it was.
It was nothing. It's a shield.
And following the other runners here, everyone's picking up items that we've already seen in many cases now. As Easy Cube's about to go get his $5 from the catfish. DKS is about to find a new item here on Land Molus. Very clean fight from DKS on Land Molus, and he gets a piece of heart and one of the pendants here. Not a required dungeon, it could be not a required item rather, or that could be nice to have in the event that Pedestal does turn out to be required in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're finally getting our first check of the Eastern Palace area. This is available right at the start of the game, but the runners have been following other breadcrumbs before coming here. We'll see if there was anything in here that would have been worth picking up right away. Starting in the back of... Actually, we're in the Dark World. No, we are in Sarastras Hut. And we're going to see what's in the back of that in a moment. 20 rupees, a piece of heart, and a lantern.
Yeah, the lantern's actually an interesting... I bit tempted trying not to get hit by that crow, but it was not working.
So that lantern opens up some dark rooms now. Eastern Palace is now fully completed. Well, actually, no, I take that back. We need the bow to fully complete Eastern Palace, but we can check the dark room. And actually, with the mirror found, that puts Death Mountain fully into logic as well. We have both the lantern and the mirror at this point, so runners are able to access Tower of Hera at this stage. First chest in Eastern Palace is just a bundle of explosives. DKS is exploring Hyrule Castle at this time as the lane follows ZZ Cube into Eastern Palace to see what's inside there. Big Dunka cleaning out, looks like the remainder of the Desert Palace. And we found the map, so that means another item is still at large. This could be interesting if the bow is not found here and both dungeon items and big key are found, and we might have something required at the back of Eastern Palace. And ZZQ finds the big key for Eastern Palace as DKS heads into the basement.
Kind of interesting that we have two runners doing pendant, we have runners doing so many pendants. But I guess there isn't that many options, although with that lamp, it does open up Pod and as well as Death Mountain as options. And Death Mountain is actually completely accessible with that lamp, so.
It's interesting you note that Mothula and Skullwoods is fully available at this point as well, but it looks like they have, since runners don't have the sword, it looks like they're trying to avoid doing, and plus they also want to make sure the mirror, they're trying to avoid it as long as possible until they have a good way to fight it. I don't think a lot of runners like the Hammer Moth idea, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you require a sword to do it.
Oh, I was mistaken. I thought it was able to be fought with the hammer as well.
No, you can't access Moth.
Got it.
He's blocked by a sword requirement.
I'm forgetting about the wall.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting about the wall. Correct.
Hammer Moth is actually a completely fine fight. It's just 4 hammer hits. You hit him from the side and just attempt to play it a little safer.
Oh, that sword wall is easy to forget. I know that there's only the 2 in the game. Or actually, is it only 2?
It is only 2.
Yeah, correct. That other one is, of course, at the top of Hyrule Castle when you go to fight Aghanim.
Just in that, the lamp didn't cause anybody to go straight to Death Mountain, and instead to do partial Eastern, even though it is a pendant.
Well, it seems that these runners are making the play on the pendant dungeons, because if there is something required and other runners are avoiding them, it's a good way to get a jump on those runners. Of course, if there's nothing in there, then it's time lost. Big Dunk about to get his booby prize from, there it is, from Landmolas, Piece of Heart.
Yeah, every runner has the powder and has not chipped the magic bat. That's going to be a problem with it having the magic mirror.
That's correct. Only one runner so far does have that magic mirror. And that magic mirror will definitely help with the transportation. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's, Big Dunka has the magic mirror. The other 3 runners do not. So that will definitely help with Big Dunka's routing. He's going to have more routing options with that magic mirror in hand, and more things that he can check that the other runners here cannot.
Big Dunka's mirror is going to cause him to go to Pod. So he may get the lamp before he enters Pod. He probably will. He'll probably mirror.
And the lane is taking a death warp there since he doesn't have the mirror. So he's going to get back to the entrance of Hyrule Castle, and we'll see where he goes from there. Looks like going to the back to check the area in the back of the castle, and I don't know if we've seen the item back in the dark room yet.
We've had the ice rod for a while.
Yeah, someone in chat was mentioning that the ice rod could be on the pedestal, but DKS already has the ice rod, so the ice rod definitely cannot be there. Piece of heart in the back of escape.
It's like Dunka is taking my idea and going straight to the completable area with that mirror.
Meanwhile, it looks like the lane is heading up Death Mountain, so we're going to see some new items, it looks like, in 2 locations here.
Right, but at the same time, Dunka is going to be able to get... unless Hoodshot is up there in those 2 items, we're going to see pretty much everything.
Yeah, Big Dunka is the better runner to follow because he has the mirror access. He can go back and forth.
There's also 1 hint up here, which Thalen will be able to check. Get 2 items, check an item, and check a hint.
The cabbages were taking Big Dunka some trouble there today, but he finally got 20 rupees from the old man and is going to start his climb. DKS looks like he's checking out the Palace of Darkness for the first time. This is another new stop for us.
Again, doesn't have the mirror, so he's taking the long way to get here. Doesn't, like, until somebody else just... Oh, there's our first sword.
The runners are definitely going to go for that without question.
Oh, actually, we did see 2 swords. Wow. So, Big Dungeon is going to go all the way to Master Sword very quickly.
That second one was on top of Spectacle Rock?
Yep. In and out.
Ah.
A piece of heart needs fire in the Tower of Hera. So, with
Master
that,
Sword,
we now know...
Go ahead, my apologies.
No, it's the Tower of Hera's fire area is not needed. Thalen is not... Oh, this is on the right pixel. So yeah, you can also do a bomb jump there to get through. It's not an awful idea.
This one make runners a lot happier going up Tower of Hera and not having to use the hammer to go through that Moldorm fight, I believe.
Well, hammer is still significantly better than sword on the Moldorm fight. So I would be surprised to not see them use it.
Indeed, some runners will still.
Also, this Master Sword is going to allow Big Dungeon to check the tablet. Well, I guess he would have been able to check it no matter what, but he will be able to get the item on the tablet.
Got our first look at the cave of Burna Cave here, or Spike Cave as we call it. 5 rupees. And Big Dunka is checking the Ether Medallion and getting even more money.
Nothing much out of those 2 chats, but we are going to see Tower of Hera, which will be our second crystal. And when we're going to see our first magic mirror check, or magic bat check other than Big Dunka, I think we're about to see it from Thalen.
We got the big key already, so it looks like the basement visit is not necessary at this time.
He'll probably immediately save and quit up to the get a second sword.
Elaine about to pick up his mirror.
He must have other plans, since he's not immediately going to Death Mountain. You also may see him do Skull Woods here, because he has not opened up any item there. So he has to do the boss as well as that, so we'll see what he does here. If DKS on a complete goose chase, probably not going to find anything. But he might. It's just very unlikely with his current items.
Big Duncan found a full heart container in the big chest of Tower Harris, so it looks like so far the items are not working out there. We're going to see what Moldorm has just a minute here.
I mean, the items don't really matter. It's a crystal that you can complete. Looks like he's going to use sword spins to deal with Mothula.
Correct.
Be careful not to poke.
Correct. It will be our second crystal for Big Duncan as well. He is choosing the sword option there, and he completes the fight. Very well done. And what does Moldorm have? Moldorm has just a key. And I see in chat there's some concerns that we want to see a ped check here. Chat really loves to see items on the pedestal. It makes chat very happy, needless to say. The lane is doing, looks like Skullwoods right now, and I think there's the Ice Rod that we may have missed before. After he's done Skullwoods, he's probably going to mirror and go straight to that pedestal, just rule out the option if it's if there's nothing there.
Oh, ether in the big key chest. That's kind of interesting. We don't know if that's needed yet.
Yeah, we don't know what either of the medallions is for Turtle Rock or for Misery Mire at this point, so we still have no idea which.
Oh, we should have seen Turtle Rock. It looks like it's Bombos, and Bombos is on the floating island.
Thank you for that information, Chad. I think we both missed that.
I was trying to pay attention to DKS's pod play. We'll see Big Duncan go in and get the block item.
Yes, this first chest, even though the hookshot is the intended way to do this first chest is accessible just by bonking. Just a full heart, so nothing special there. And I think he's going to head back to the floating island and grab that Bombos. Now we're getting our first look at Mothula itself here.
It will not have an item because we already have both items for this dungeon.
But
our fight is very patient. It's just kind of not really going in the right spots. There isn't much you can do sometimes against mods. You just kind of have to deal with his patterns.
And Mothula is down. That will give the lane his second crystal, both the 5/6 crystals. So Pyramid Fairy is now in the logic for him if he does wish to check it. I have a feeling he's going to first check the pedestal and that last chest in Skullwoods, however. Unless he checked that chest and I missed it.
DK getting his mirror. Third person with the mirror, and we are going to get a pedestal check here.
Get your hype up, chat. Get your hype up.
It's going to be absolutely nothing. Yep.
Yep, absolutely nothing. And ZZ Cube gets his map from the insect. And his second crystal. Or, yeah, second crystal.
So all 4 tires about the same. They're basically no, they are all they are all just synced up. Like these racers are. There's no real way to tell who's in the lead. As you know, there are multiple pieces to the puzzle.
But one interesting note is that DKS did clean out as much as he could of Palace of Darkness, and it looks like he did not find the bow. So he's going to have to make another trek through Palace of Darkness later when he eventually finds the bow. And Big Dunk is doing his trip through Skull Woods right now, so he's about to, he's working towards his third crystal there. DKS is climbing Death Mountain, heading towards Tower of Hera. The lane is in Tower of Hera, and we have ZZ Cube going through Skull Woods at this time.
It's starting to look like something may be at the Pyramid Ferry.
It is starting to look very likely, yes. And even though we have the Balmo skin inside Turtle Rock, it's important to remember that we don't have the Cane of Samaria yet, so you can't really get inside, even though you can open the door. I'm just looking at the remaining dungeons. I'm starting to have a feeling we might see something like Flippers at Pyramid Ferry at this point. Elaine picks up his third crystal, so he has 3 of the 7 crystals required to go get some bacon later. The Big Dunk is finishing up Skull Woods. He's in the back half right now. ZZ Cube is going through the hammer pegs on to get into the Palace of Darkness area. It looks like he might be making the pod play. No, he's going north towards the Catfish area. We'll see where he goes. Oh, he has a super bomb. He is checking Pyramid Ferry, so we are going to see what's at Pyramid Ferry in just a second here. Pyramid Ferry has 2 items in it. ZZ Cube is now inside, and we are finding the bow and the Cane of Samaria. Wow, what a pair of items at the Pyramid Ferry today. That is quite a hoard she had there. We're getting our look at the 7 chest cave here, as I like to call it. The 5 chest room has lots of money. And a few arrows, and more money. So, not a lot in that cave. DKS is continuing his climb up Tower of Hera. He's about to take on Moldorm. ZZ Cube is making the pod play with the bow. He will save time over DKS with this play, as DKS cleared out as much as he could have pod without the bow. And DKS just got bounced back off of Moldorm up back onto the upper ledge. Kind of funny to see that happen. And Moldorm falls. The lane is getting his Bombos information. Of course, he can't go in yet because he doesn't have Bombos yet, but he will have that shortly. Even then, he still doesn't have the King of Samaria, which we know is at this time is at Pyramid Ferry, and he can access. The lane has seen the Bombos on the floating island. He is going to get his full heart from the first chest here. Then he shall be going to get that Bombos. DKS also got the Bombos information.
I missed what was on Pyramid Ferry?
Pyramid Ferry had the bow and had the Cane of Samaria, so it opens up a lot. 2 required items.
We need the flippers.
Gotta be one of the most loaded Pyramid Ferries I think I've seen in a lot of seeds that I've seen here.
Well, we need the flippers, the flute, and the hook shot to complete the seed, and possibly another medallion, but we don't know that one yet.
Well, I do know the medallion itself is not required, so at this point going at Ice Palace, and I know Ice Palace is hated, I hate it myself, it would be a risky play, but even so they don't have the flippers at this point, so they can't access it anyway. So the odds are at this point, unless there's a really linear path that goes through Ice Palace to find that last item, at this point it's looking like it's not going to be required. I think this is our first check of the Bombos medallion. If I'm mistaken, either way it is 20 rupees. It is not anything special.
We do know that there's a unique item in Turtle Rock, so that is a fairly interesting thing.
Yes, we are having some bets in the chat as to what that item would be right now. We know there are a few items left. Flippers are definitely one of those items. And I would put my bet on that because that would be a very interesting... It's always very interesting to see runners obviously want to go Turtle Rock last to make the trek up to Ganon's Tower a lot shorter. Putting the flippers in Turtle Rock would make that, in this case, almost impossible because they have to go back to Swamp Palace and get the last crystal at that point. A possibility that came up in chat: flippers on Trinex, flute on Cold Stare. That would be a little distasteful.
I mean, that is not even remotely a difficult or trolly thing. It's just like, well, we already know that there's required things. So as soon as, like, I would be surprised if we didn't see that shortly. Like, Bid Dunta's the only one with all the pieces needed. He just doesn't know about the required item. I would be surprised if he didn't go there to Turtle Rock right away. Yeah, DTS is just kind of the only person who has the right information and everything to go there, and ZZQ will have that shortly as well.
Yeah, and having that play at Pyramid Ferry with the cane and the bow, that unlocks only 3 dungeons for exploration. So it's still a complete gamble which one to go to at that point. The lane is now getting his combination of hoarded items. DK is about to get his $5 for a load of intentional damage to himself. Something I didn't see before, the shovel in pod, so it'll be interesting if the shovel also hides something at the dig spot there. So at this point, we have 3 runners going through Palace of Darkness. So we're going to get to see from those 3 runners right now, very soon, what... I'm not sure if... I haven't seen all the items, unfortunately, in pause, so I might have missed 1 or 2 items, but we're going to see if the King Helmasaur has anything on him. Either way, it will be another crystal that will be added to the collection. 4th crystal for Big Dunka, the 3rd for ZZ Cube, and the 4th for the Lane. The Lane now gets his Ether Medallion. We'll see if that is required later for or not from his Meyer.
ZZ Cube only has 2 hearts, and yeah, he's gonna have to be careful here. But he has some time to shoot some arrows. Oh, yeah, okay, good. He's very close to dying there.
A nice set of arrows there. Silver arrows would make that a lot easier. 1 arrow would be to the jewel, and that would be it. But no one has found the silver arrows yet. Looks like $300 are on the King Helmasaur and Crystal.
ZZ Cube has not gotten his mirror.
Well, except for Swamp Palace, if it wasn't for Swamp Palace being a crystal, the mirror would actually not be required to finish the game. I have seen games complete without the mirror before. But in this case, Swamp Palace would require the mirror to get into it. So this could be a bad play not getting that mirror from Batman.
The ZZ Cube is going to go check the shovel spot.
This would be a very ironic location to hide the flute, wouldn't it?
And nope, no item.
And the Big Dunk is the second of our runners to face Helmasaur King. The Lane should be right behind him shortly here. And I'm not sure if I've seen this location yet. Have we seen K45 yet?
I don't know what that cave is, but I do know that the south of Haunted Grove cave is definitely a check that we haven't seen.
Yes, that would be K45. And I'm seeing in chat that K45 was checked. Looks like we might have both missed what that was. Hopefully chat can help us out with that. I'm being told that it's money, so nothing important.
We're getting a quick hint check in Swamp Palace. Unique item is in plain sight, so that could be any location. That could be the swords. We definitely know the swords are there.
Question in chat, has there been a pedestal check yet? Yes, there has been. It's just nothing of value at this to us in this particular seed. And we are now at the 1 hour point of the race. ZZ Cube is getting his 20 bucks from Ether. Big Dunka is, looks like Big Dunka is going to give us our first look at Turtle Rock. Heading towards there now. The lane is still cleaning out Palace of Darkness, will be our third to face Homostar King. And EKS is going to finally get his bow and his can Samaria.
And Big Dunka making the correct play, going into Turtle Rock. Even without that hint, this is the most obvious play.
Yes,
honestly,
sorry, go ahead.
I just think it should have been done way earlier, I guess. But I guess nobody really had the collected items. It's a dungeon with 7 items behind it.
I think
was in Palace.
I think simply because of the location of the bow and the Cane of Samaria where they were, because the bow was there, the bow I think leading to Pod and possibly Eastern Palace, except they're probably not going to do that now. But with Pod being the closer play, they're going to go to that before they go to Turtle Rock. But yes, I agree. Turtle Rock is a very good play at this point, even without the hint. Turtle Rock usually has a high chance of having items in it of some sort. As EKS gets his bundle, all runners now have access to Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock. Except for ZZQ, who hasn't picked up the bombos yet.
Having to do this from the slow way. No shields yet, by the way. It doesn't matter. We've seen one. It was one of the unique items in plain sight. We have seen all the in plain sight locations, so.
Actually, is there not one in plain? I'm trying to remember if we've seen the plain sight one in the desert. It was on the desert ledge.
We have seen every plain sight item. Yes.
Okay, I missed that one. Looks like we found the hook shot as well. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, in Turtle Rock. Pat just commenting on that right now.
In the bid key, yes. In the bid key room.
Right.
The Turtle Rock is the only new location that anybody has checked in, so.
Correct. And Big Dino picks up the big key from between the chain chops. A very dangerous room to get through, and a very tough room to get through as well if you are fairly new to the game. ZZQ just found out Bombos is on the floating island. I think he's going to find his way to that very soon.
And then is going to get his hook shot shortly.
Big Dunk goes to the lava room, finds a piece of heart there, nothing special. And DKS, now that he has his bow, is making a point of getting that Palace of Darkness finished. He's already collected all the items in it, just has to finish it off. DKS about to take on Homosar King, and then I have a feeling he's going to follow these runners to Turtle Rock because that unique item hint, no reason not to do Turtle Rock at this point. Of course, we know that that unique item is the hook shot, and actually 2 unique items. We just found Quake there. Actually, that was a Mimic Cave.
Okay, and another item here. It's a small key. Guess it had to be a small key now that I think about it.
So we're coming up on Laser Bridge, possibly a couple items on Laser Bridge that can still be there. So most likely useless items, but there could be something else hiding there we don't know about yet.
Ugh.
And ZZ Cube is indeed heading towards Turtle Rock now that he's picked up his Bombos medallion from the floating island. Meanwhile, deep inside Turtle Rock, Big Dunka heads towards the Laser Bridge and is using his Kana burner to do it safely. A compass, a key. Of course, we had to have a key. $20.
50, I'm not sure if that's all of them or not.
I haven't been keeping count of the 50s or the 100s.
No, I mean the last item.
Ah, I see what you mean.
So something could be on Trinex.
Did he pick up the map anywhere in Turtle Rock? If not, that would be what's on Trinex, I believe.
They chat saying that they have picked up all 3.
Okay, so there is something on Trinex. We'll see in a second.
Either way, we get access to all the hoodshot locations on Dark Death Mountain right after this, so that is going to be quite useful.
Yes, Hookshot. I see the runners heading straight to Hookshot Cave after they finish Trinex. And the lane is about to get his Quake Medallion. Of course, we don't know yet what is needed in Misery Mire, but they're going to have all 3 pennants, so whatever it is, they're going to be able to get in there.
And there's the flippers. So Flute is probably in Swamp, but they will definitely check Hookshot Cave first.
Someone in chat did say flippers on Trinex, I think. So
yeah,
give that person a lottery ticket.
they actually specifically said Swamp in Turtle Rock, but I'm pretty sure that was the Swamp and Turtle Rock, Flute in, or Flippers in Turtle Rock, Flute in there, so.
Now, I remember that person said flippers on Trinex and then something on Cold Stare. I don't remember what it was he said on Cold Stare, but kudos to whoever said that. That was a good prediction of the flippers on Trinex.
I'm not sure where Dunka's go. Oh, probably to check Spike Cave. Just to not leave a stone unturned.
And taking a look at the items right now, it looks like the only item we're missing for Go mode is the flute. So as soon as we find the flute, we will, I think we will be potentially in Go mode here.
There's a hood shot now for ZZ Cube. Kalen doing the optimal strats.
So the lane is about to get his flipper. He's gonna be very happy with that. So it looks like Big Dunk is going to make the play on Swamp next. Very logical play. Better to do that than Ice Palace, since Ice Palace is a pendant. We are only looking for one item, plus Swamp Palace is required, and there are a fair number of items inside. Looks like he is going to go and get the hint about a unique item being in plain sight. A little bit late for that hint for him, but good to get that hint out of the way in case there was something important there. First, of course, the key in the first chest has to be. The AKS picks up his ether from the forgot the name of the cave all of a sudden. From the extra cave there. Mimic Cave, that's what it is.
Yeah, Flute is most likely going to be in Swamp. If it's not, there really is only Swamp and Ice Palace at this point, because it could also be Green Pendant, I think. Unless for some reason Saha Village Elder is actually Kakariko Village Elder is Saha, in which case that hint is bad.
Lane just getting his $50 from the hobo. He had not checked the unfortunate man under the bridge yet. So we're most interested in watching what Big Dunka does right now, because if the flute is in here, that's he can stop checking chests at that point, if my math is correct here. Just finds a compass in this room. Looks like the lane is also going to make the Swamp Palace play. He has also completed Turtle Rock. Gotten the flippers earlier. Looks like there are some people just getting home right now, just joining us in the last little while. So just to review a couple of the highlights of the seed. 5-6 crystals were located at Skull Woods rather, and Thieves Town, both available very early. They held the bow and the Cane of Samaria at Pyramid Ferry, which were needed to clear Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock. So a very important stop today. And we just had the flute.
Yeah, it was in the 2 southern swamp chests.
So there were 2 very big items there. So at that Pyramid Ferry, and then Turtle Rock, of course, also had 2 unique items in the flippers and the hook shot. So those were our 2 most important locations for items on this particular seed.
Yeah, and with that positioning, there is not much that they have to do. So they just have to take the flute, go to activate it, go to Mire, and just finish Mire, because we know we have the pendants.
Question in chat, isn't Quake also the unique item? If I'm not mistaken, I haven't not familiar with how the hints are structured fully myself yet, but I believe all the medallions are considered unique items. Am I correct?
Yes. All items are unique items.
And Big Dunk is the first to get to the Kakariko Village windmill and destroy the bird on top and free the actual bird inside. And this will lead him to Misery Mire, where he will be going for his 7th and final crystal. I expect he will be the first of our runners to get to Gan's Tower. And looking at Misery Mire, it looks like Ether is the medallion required to get inside today. Big Dunk is about to enter there. CZ Cube gets his flippers from Trinex, and DKS is about to do the exact same thing.
Okay, so now we're just looking for the big key. Can actually be on any chest in this dungeon, except for obviously the big chest. Okay, interesting.
Well, that cape will provide some more defensive options for the climb up Gan's Tower, at least. Interestingly, we have no silver arrows yet, so all of our runners, I'm sure, are comfortable with silverless cannon in today's featured 4, and probably many of the racers in the race as well. Silvers are technically required item to beat the game, according to the logic, but many runners don't require them at this point.
In the very loose sense of the word, there is the what's it called? There's Logic on Ganon, but technically it's just that. Oh, hey, look, there's the big key. Can't use this door though, because the small key is already used.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go get another small key. Forgot that he does need those once in a while.
Yeah, it's just a very awkward route in this. I used up all the keys.
Looks like ZD Cube is now heading to Swamp Palace here. Looks like that's his next play. Of course, at this point, it is a bit of a linear path. Once you have Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock, it's kind of linear at that point. So at this point, with the exception of Big Dunk in the lead, the other runners are just chasing him down at this point. So at this point, I just want to remind you once again, follow these runners. They're doing a good job putting on a good show for us here. And really great race that we have here. Really interesting seed that we've had here today as well. And Big Dunker is taking out Victorious right now. That means that he will be the first of our featured runners. Actually, I don't want to jump ahead of myself here. As he fights the big eye with arrows. There it is. He's the first of our featured runners to get 7 crystals. That means there is a very special game that we usually play. We're not going to run the bot because this is a daily race, so other runners may have been there already. But everyone from 1 to 22, pick a number and we'll just play and chat without the bot today. Of course, I'm always going to go with my choice, always 11, because always. Zonos, what would you pick for the PQ location?
I guess 1, just because it's funny to see if people forget the small keys, like I have in the past.
Yeah, that always is a bit comical when they forget to pick up the small key and we try to go upstairs. So as Big Duncan climbs back up towards Ganon's tower, looks like he's starting obviously on the light side. He's going to get to Dark Death Mountain. Looks like he's taking the Turtle Rock route. And that dead rock is not letting Big Donkey in there at all. That was just being nasty to him.
Okay, about to see a few more items. Technically, we're on GT. I'll be interested to see if we find silvers or not.
ZZQ just picked up his flute. The lane is about to be our second featured runner to get all 7 crystals. And Big Dunk is opening up Ganon's tower as we speak. So the guesses have been made, including a 23 I see in the chat here. So let's see where this big key ends up. Looks like he's going on the left here. We have a piece of heart on the torch. Don't think Bob's going to get killed today. He's going to live.
And yeah, it looks like we are going to see the skeleton room. It's going to be a piece of hearts, key, another key, and just some bombs.
Looks like they're not going to forget the small key today. Piece of heart in the fire bar room. And behind the locked door, we have the drop, and there's another chest down here. Chest number, I believe that's number 8, or number 9.
I do not remember the numbers, honestly. There's
It's the red ring. I think it is 9 by this point, because I know the rando room usually in my count is 10 to 13. And Rando Room today has a shield, a compass, a mushroom, and the $20. So that's 13 locations checked. If you had number 13 or fewer, I'm sorry, you do not win. So we're going to get to walk in and say hi to Bob here, and we're going to see what Bob has for us. Bob just has a bundle of arrows for us to use. The lane, meanwhile, comes into Gan's Tower and is the second of our featured runners to start looking for the big key. Big Dunka dispenses the ice armors, and there are 3 items back here. We have the big key and its vanilla location, number 15. If you said 15,
chests for silvers.
If you said 15, congratulations. You win absolutely nothing.
We'll have to see. He will definitely check all of the chests in the top for silvers because it's just faster to. If the silvers are there, and if you don't check them and the silvers are there, well then you kind of messed up. And there's the gold sword Thalen found. I wonder if he'll go all the way.
We found the butter, but he didn't check tile room, so silvers could very well be in tile room as well. Or they could even be somewhere in Ice Palace. There's still a lot of locations silver arrows could be, but yes, I believe our runners will all keep looking for those silver arrows just to make things easier in the top floors.
Thalen's route will actually be fastest it's actually the fastest possible route.
Actually, something we didn't even notice. The silver arrows, the lane is marked as having the silver arrows. I don't know where he got those. Thank you to chat for bringing that up to us. I didn't see where he picked that up. Did anyone see where that was?
Yeah, it must be on right side. I wasn't... or it was... Yeah, it must be on right side or on left side swamp. But no, because other people did left side swamp, so I'm not sure, actually. Whoops.
I saw... They were right next to the gold sword. It was first chest. I didn't even notice. I saw.
I thought it was a single arrow. I thought it. Our stream, for clarity, our stream is lower res than the Twitch stream, the one that we watch. So
that's
sometimes
I sometimes have trouble telling an arrow and a hook shot apart. To be honest with you, on this stream, it's a little lower quality than what you can see on Twitch.
Interesting. So going full right side all the way there is actually the fastest route. Period. There's actually a decent chance that Thalen will win this, purely based on that. Silvers does significantly speed up the game.
He's still a couple fours behind, but yes, if he can catch up a little bit here, then yes, he has a very good chance to at least win out of our featured runners.
Yeah, doing full right side is actually like a significant time save, which is a good play if you have an invincibility item and can just do that like chaos bridge, like the one with the fire bars and the spikes. There's a way to do that room without like using invincibility, but I can't get it every time. It's very difficult.
I'm just keeping an eye on the SRL chat here. I'm not gonna spoil who wins at this point because we're getting close to the end here, but we have had no finishers yet as of this point. So we could be seeing our first place finisher on stream here.
Let's see, is extremely linear, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Agreed. There is that one point where the bow and the King of Samaria that kind of opens up a little bit, but you have to do you kind of have to do the last 2 dungeons in a specific order in order to get the items from those dungeons. So it does kind of have a linear feel to it as a result.
People are definitely doubting the significant time save of silvers. The only reason silvers are not gotten in NMG is because the time spent to go to Pyramid is about 2 minutes, and the time that Silver saves is about 1.5 minutes. So it's not so much that the silvers aren't useful, it's that the way to acquire the silvers is very difficult.
Agreed. And NMG, if you're really good at doing the Ganon fight silverless, then you have no reason to get the silvers because it will save you time. If you have any problem at all with Ganon, you might as well just get the silvers and take the half-minute time loss, obviously.
So yeah, no, definitely runner. That's why runners, even the best runners in Randomizer, will actively look at like the top chests in GT for the silvers. That's another thing is that Bidunka did check additional chests. Thalen may not. He's probably not going to look at those chests because of his layout. Also, Thalen has more keys because of the route he took, so he doesn't have to kill the Helmosaur. There's actually lots of little things about the difference between going left or right this seed that will matter in the end.
And the lane won't waste time on the top chest either because he already has the silver. There's nothing else for him to pick up. He got his gold sword too. He has everything he could possibly need to finish the seed.
The only thing is if he, like me, is obsessive and keeps track of his heart pieces and like was on 3. Like I will always open that if I'm on 3 quarter hearts. Because it's just, there's no reason not to. It's actually something like, it's one of those things that because the hints have added a little bit of extra stress, like I didn't before, like now I've stopped caring about my piece of hearts because I need to keep all that information in my head.
We do have ZZ Cube getting his final crystal. He's going to join us in Ganon's Tower very soon. Big Duncan, meanwhile, is on the Ganon fight. We're going to see if the silvers can help the lane catch up on the Ganon fight very soon.
This RNG, though, is very good, so that's probably going to be a 1 cycle for this phase. Yeah, he's already out of there because he knows he can... I think that's enough hits. Yeah, it was enough hits. Yeah, that's like the best position in. Oh, that was a triple, which Big Duncan didn't get at all. Yeah, that was a very good fight.
That was a very good Aghanim fight there, Aghanim 2.
Also, Big Duncan's having a little bit of an issue with phase 3 here. Definitely got a lot more teleports. We'll see. I'm gonna be very interested on how many extra teleports that costed Bidunka. Because he missed a cycle. So every teleport here will be extra. 2. Oh, okay. Not that many. He didn't lose that much time. Did you find the arrows in my tower? And at this point, Bidunka is like, huh. Well, it's either it's in one of 2 places.
Yeah, I checked everything I could think of. I just didn't do. Oh no.
Didn't do the other side or tile room. Big thing. Also, Thalen is doing tremendous on this fight. Ooh.
The beeping heart is very not nice to hear, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. So, like, again, like, the moment Phase 4 starts, this lawn Phase 3 may save Dunka. Like, I think that this very lawn Phase 3, now, Dunka is not doing a perfect Phase 4 here.
This is very close among our featured runners here. This, a very good set of silver hits could make the difference for the lane here.
Okay.
Not keeping track of Big Duncan's hit number.
No! He got a swordless hit. Sorry, a silverless hit on Ganon there.
Oh, he made it. He got him out in time. So he will just edge out the lane on our featured runners here.
I think if Thalen had hit that first arrow, he might have won.
Well, let's see where he finishes here. He just has to cross the bridge. And he has crossed the bridge, and the lane is going to be right behind him. Big Dunka comes in 3rd place. I'll get the official time here. Big Dunka comes in 3rd place with a time of 1:35.10. The lane just finished in 4th place with a time of 1:35.24.
Yeah, very good.
Just to clarify who the first 2 racers were, we had Matt 7898 finish in 1st place with the time of 1:32.25, so about 3 seconds quicker. Pink Kitty Rose, also a fantastic runner I've seen many times. 2nd place, 1:33.32. Those were our top 4 runners. Neaterific finished in 5th place, 1:35.27. So there's your top 5. Cassidy Moen coming 6th, just now. Her time is a little bit ahead. I actually called that one early.
And welcome, Thalen.
Hey.
Congratulations on third and second on the restream. No, I'm confused.
No, it's
Fourth
actually
and
fourth.
second on the restream.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a very good run that you had in against Tower there. You were, of our first two streamers, between you and Big Dunka, he did not take the right side and get the silver arrows. We thought you might catch him for a moment there. Do you usually do the right side play there?
No, I try to switch it up a little bit, at least lately, so yeah. Like, I go for different strats in GT and just see what works and what doesn't. And yeah, this time it actually worked out pretty good with the gold sword and the silver arrows both on right side, and then like completing that route to get the big key. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was like definitely the fastest route.
What did you think of Pyramid Fairy in this seed?
Well, she was a bit generous, I think.
I don't know the last time I've seen her hold 2 required items like that. That's I don't think that's very common.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Considering a single required item on her is something like 1.5% chance, having 2 there is actually pretty crazy. Like, it's
astronomical.
Very difficult to have a required item on Pyramid Fairy because of logic reasons, I've been told. And it looks like DTS is going to also do the bonk up into the... He did a modified Dark Magician route, so he went to the left, got those keys, and then is just moving on.
It looks like Big Dunka is also joining us in chat. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish, sir.
Thank you very much.
How'd that seed feel for you today?
Oh, it would have been great if I had never found the book. It cost them 5 minutes.
Yeah, the book was entirely useless.
Completely useless.
Yeah, I don't even honestly. Don't worry, everyone did it.
Okay.
Everyone pretty much went to desert. You had the mirror half an hour before anyone else.
Yeah, that's actually the reason, because I found, I'm trying to remember the order that went in, because I found the mirror first, and then just ran into the book, and I'm like, well, there's too much here. This has got to lead to something.
Yes.
It led to absolutely nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. And the interest in 2 swords, well, 3 swords on Death Mountain, 2, well, I guess 4 if you count Dan and Tower. But 3 in Light World was very weird. Seeing the 2 in plain sight there.
Yeah, that was a nice little surprise getting up there. I almost sequence broke it early, but I'm always leery about sequence breaking Death Mountain when flute is required, because then if you find the lantern up there, you know you missed the flute somewhere, and then you got to go backtracking and try to find it.
Right. Well, I mean, at least in that case, then you know where to look. Like, it's a nice little quasi hint. But yeah, the hints in this seed were entirely useless, except for kind of the Turtle Rock one.
That was what was Turtle Rock? I don't remember.
It just said
Turtle Rock had the hook shot early on, and it also had the flipper, so it actually had 2 unique items, not 1 unique item.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like that was an entirely pointless hint. Like, oh no, you mean in this seed where Canis Samaria was locked behind Pyramid Fairy, there's a unique item there? Whew. So shocking.
Oh, and Canis Samaria Pyramid Fairy, that's a new one.
Yeah, it's always whenever I see 5-6 that are both, pretty early on, it's usually on the radar. I like checking that one fairly early, knowing that I eventually had to go back and do pod anyway. I kind of bailed on that a little bit early. I didn't bother checking pod and Eastern after I found the lamp, and I'm like, I'll probably end up going to do 5-6 eventually here, and I'll just pick it up then. And it really worked out with the bow there too.
Yeah.
It turned out that the best play was going right for those 5-6 dungeons this time, just by some chance. Of course, you had to find that sword. The sword was hard to find, and that's kind of what caused the delay on just doing that.
Overall, not a bad seed though.
Yeah, even our, like, we got ZZ Cube and DKS both in the climb in different parts. ZZ Cube just started in the Gauntlet, and DKS just started in the Samaria rooms with the bridges.
Yep, don't think they'll be too far behind us here. So we're looking at possibly, I'd say about 146, 147, 148, somewhere in that range for times, I would say.
I'll let you guys finish. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the hard work you guys always do.
And thank you for running a great race. Great to watch you in action here again.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yo, thanks guys, and GG, danke. Oh,
Thank you as well, the lane, and that was Big Duncan in the lane, our third and fourth place finishers respectively in this seed. Great race. We look forward to seeing you both again in the future. Let's go ahead and follow these last two runners, ZZ Cube and DKS, as they climb the tower. And ZZ Cube is taking out the land molus right now, so he's a couple forms behind DKS here. DKS should be most likely the first to Aghanim 2, unless he has trouble with Moldorm 2, or Trolldorm as we like to call him.
As it turns out, yes, in fact, the village stage is not Saha, but is Saha? You know, because reasons.
Reasons. So DKS now beginning the Aga 2 fight. Let's see what kind of hit fortune he gets here. That looks like a double. And another double, just needs one more hit and that should take him out. There it is. 21021, I believe that was. I'm just noticing the in-game time for both Big Dunk and the lane right now. According to the in-game time, they were 4 seconds apart. So that's pretty good running by both of them there. DKS is going through his scan fight. Meanwhile, ZZ Cube is walking in on Aghanim 2. Let's see how he does on Aghanim 2 as DKS deals with teleporting Ganon. Now, of note, DKS did go to the right side. He did get the silver arrow, so he's got a much easier Gan fight than ZZ Cube does.
Yeah, the silver arrows make a huge difference, actually.
Had a nice double and then another single to finish it off. DKS. Actually, let's just catch up on the finishers here. So DKS, it looks like, is coming in 11th place. Other finishers we have here, Cassie Moan, I mentioned 6th place, 136.24. Kyle LPN, 137, even at 7th. RD Walsh, 8th at 140.07. Looking down, I see Raja getting a personal best according to SRL with 143.34. And Shire in 10th at 143.53. The time for DKS is 1:45:28, and I believe he should be joining us in just a moment here.
Okay, well, DTS.
Right now, we're seeing if DKS wants to join us. I haven't heard a response yet. If he does join us, we will introduce him in when he arrives. DZ Cube is completing the final phase of Ganon right now. He does not have silver arrows. He has to go swing his sword at the pig a few times here. And I see DKS in chat. I'll go ahead and bring him in here in our voice channel. Hi, DKS. Welcome. Congratulations on your 11th place finish today.
Thank you.
How did that seed treat you today?
I don't know. I didn't very much enjoy it.
I'm gonna take a guess it was Pyramid Fairy that you didn't really like. Am I right?
Not so much that. It's just that after Thieves Town, I just wasted 20 minutes of finding literally nothing and just making every wrong play. And so when you do that, it's just, you feel like you're forever behind everyone else in the race, and it just feels really bad. Like, I spent like the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes only finding a lamp, and so that feels pretty bad.
I think all of our feature runners actually did a lot of wandering around looking up items here. I know that that's the 2 items at Pyramid Fairy. That's very extremely unlikely even just to get 1 item at Pyramid Fairy. So I don't think a lot of runners would have been expecting 2 items there. I think that's probably something to trip up a lot of runners today, to be honest with you. So nothing to be ashamed of there. As we say that, ZZ Cube is finishing. He's about to cross the bridge, and he has finished. And his final time is 1:49.06 in 13th place, right behind Frostbite 3030 at 1:47.59. Looking back at that seed, have you ever seen 2 required items in Pyramid Fairy like that before?
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you count lamp as a required item, then I have had that in one of my last races, actually. Lamp and bow. But, like, as much, like, for something that you can skip, no, like 2 items like that, it has to have been, I can't remember the last time it would have been like that.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if the odds were upped on that, but I'm gonna assume that hasn't changed. ZZ Cube is zipping through the credits here to get to his stats, so we have a comparison. And let's see if we can get ZZ Cube in here. I don't think he's been invited yet. So the seeds turned out to be a very linear seed. You had to actually get to Pyramid Fairy after wandering around trying to find everything else, everywhere else first. And just to get to Turtle Rock, just to complete Palace of Darkness, and then you needed Turtle Rock. It was literally completely linear after that point. What kind of seed do you typically prefer when you are going out to play a round of randomizer? Do you normally like the linear seeds or the ones that are wide open?
I really, especially in races, I don't like linear seeds because at the very beginning of this wasn't like as linear as it could have been. You had Titans, you get the book, you can make several different plays that take you in the wrong direction, but like once you get that mirror, everything's a straight line. And so I don't like it because you make the wrong plays, you fall behind quite a bit, and yeah, it kind of sucks. So I prefer like open seeds where like pendants are required, where you have to make more decisions, because after you get the mirror, everything is pretty straightforward.
Speaking of that, I see ZZ Cube in our voice channel. I'll bring your setup channel. I'll bring him in now as well. Hello, ZZ Cube. Welcome. Congratulations on your 13th place finish today. How are you feeling after that seed?
Not too fantastic. What's going on, guys?
That was one of the most linear endings that I've seen in a while for one of those seeds.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just fighting against tech problems for the whole thing. Probably noticed.
It's interesting looking at the collection rates for the seeds as well. I don't see DKS's yet because he's still on the credits. I noticed you zipped ahead, ZZ Cube, on yours. Very close collection rates. Like DKS was talking about going around the overworld for a while looking for items, but I'm almost certain most of the players in this seed probably did that exact same thing, as I think the stats might be coming in for DKS. No, maybe not quite yet. But we have 156 for Big Dunko, 160 for the lane, 159 for you, ZZ Cube. So definitely, I think that the Pyramid Fairy did trip up. I'm guessing a lot of runners just like it tripped up you guys today.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to screw anything up after that. And
Yeah,
it was pretty tough to get there in the first place.
Yeah, pretty linear with the hook shot and the flippers both in Turtle Rock. You literally had to go that route. You couldn't go any other route.
Yeah, I save quit instead of going to Hookshot Cave. It was a brilliant strategy. Don't try that one at home, kids.
Some strategies are better than others, needless to say. And
yeah, I was fighting. I don't know what was going on with my computer, but I was dealing with lag spikes every 10 seconds. For the
I wasn't sure if that was your computer or the restream.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't happen, but it cost me 10 minutes at least.
Yeah, that was actually. Yeah, I wasn't sure that was on our end, so I never commented on it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was on my end, and I tried to fix it live, but it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I did notice
I did notice the spike myself when we switched to your audio after DKS finished. I noticed the spike there a little bit myself. I didn't comment on it either, but it was noticeable, and I can certainly see the spike like that costing some time as well. That makes it a little hard when you're in a race, trying to beat everyone else. I was
just gonna say I was under the assumption that it was just a what's the word? It was just a minor, it was just on the stream end. I didn't realize it was your computer.
Not, yeah.
And DKS stats should be coming in, I think. Actually, there they are right now, 159. Yep. All 4 featured runners had items within 4, within 4 of each other. So, yeah, I think everyone on our stream, we were watching, obviously, and everyone was running around checking everything else before going to Pyramid Fairy. So I think that was something that tripped up everyone here. And it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of other runners had that problem too. I did see a few forfeits in the race as well of people who weren't enjoying the seed.
Well, you had to get the sword was the one thing.
Yeah, the sword was needed just to get to Mothula. So having to find that sword before you could do anything else, and it was really a linear seed, as a couple of our runners have already said here. And the other thing interesting is that 2 runners found the silver arrows, 2 runners did not find the silver arrows. Any guesses, ZZQ, where the silver arrows were?
Hookshot Cave.
Nope. Yeah. It was in Ganon's Tower. Actually, believe it or not, if you did full right side, right next to the gold sword. They were both right there in that 4 chest room on the right side.
Yeah, well, I don't go right, so.
Yeah, if you don't go right, you won't get it. If you go right all the time, you get it. So it's one of those cases where some will get it, some won't. So any closing thoughts on this seed before we wrap this up today?
It sucked, and yeah, otherwise, thanks for the commentary and the restream, the trackers. It was great, and you guys make this happen, so thanks.
Seed was fine. My feed sucked, but thanks for putting up with me.
No problem. We're happy to have you both in the race today, and obviously all of our racers on the SRL channel who completed the race today. Thank you to all the racers today, especially Big Dunka, ZZ Cube, The Lane, and DKS, who have provided some entertainment for us today in this restream. Follow all these runners, and if you want to, you can feel free to follow the commentators as well and the trackers. I myself don't stream yet, but nonetheless, maybe someday. But feel free to check out all of these other fine people and see what they do, see what they're up to. They're always happy to have company around and chat with people and show you what they're capable of doing. So with that said, any final words from you, Zealous, before we wrap this up today?
Nope.
Simple enough then. That's another round of the Link to the Past Randomizer. We're happy to have had all of you with us here on Speed Gaming today. We hope you had a wonderful time. Let me just take a quick look at the schedule here and see if there's anything still going on right now here. Looking at the schedule, this looks like it is the last race of the night tonight, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like the next race isn't until 2:15 tomorrow, and that's another of the Link to the Past fall qualifiers, just like this, except this is the tournament. And as Zelda said earlier, if you want to play in that tournament, this is your last chance to get on the qualifier. If you haven't raced any yet, if you don't play in the last 4 qualifiers here, you can't be in the tournament, in the brackets. So if you want to play, get in there. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you here. Let's watch some more Randomizer tomorrow here on the Speed Gaming Network. We'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up for right now. For Zelda's TV, this is me, Cyclone, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Good night.